These are the reasons why brand new brake pads don't stop your car as well as they should, and the fascinating science behind what needs to happen before your brakes reach their full potential. Most drivers never realize that fresh brake pads and rotors straight from the factory are actually operating at maybe 80% of their designed stopping power. When you drive off the lot with new brakes, or after a brake job at your mechanic's shop, you're not getting the full performance those parts were engineered to deliver. There's a critical process that has to happen first, and understanding it could literally be the difference between stopping safely and sliding through that intersection. The problem starts with a fundamental mismatch between two brand new surfaces. When brake pads and rotors arrive from the factory, both surfaces are rough and unoptimized. Picture trying to grip something with sandpaper. That's essentially what's happening when your new brake pads first contact new rotors. The surfaces aren't working together, they're fighting each other. But here's where it gets really interesting. Your brakes don't actually work the way most people think they do. We imagine that stopping power comes from the brake pad physically scraping against the rotor, like using an eraser on paper. That's called abrasive friction, and while it does happen, it's not how good brakes are supposed to work. Abrasive friction generates enormous amounts of heat, wears down your components rapidly, and actually provides less stopping power than the method your brakes were designed to use. The secret lies in something called adherent friction, and it depends on creating what engineers call a transfer layer. During proper brake operation, microscopic amounts of brake pad material actually transfer onto the rotor surface, creating a nanometer-thick film. This isn't wear, it's intentional material deposition. When you press the brake pedal, the pad isn't just rubbing against metal, it's bonding with this transferred layer of its own material. Think of it like Velcro. The hooks and loops work because they're designed to grab onto each other. Your brake pads work similarly. They grab onto a layer of their own material that's been deposited on the rotor. This adherent friction is far more effective than simple scraping, and it's why properly bedded brakes can improve stopping distances by up to 20% compared to unbedded ones. The process of creating this transfer layer is called bedding, and it requires a very specific procedure involving controlled heating and cooling cycles. You need to bring the brake components up to temperatures between 400 and 500 degrees Celsius, that's over 900 degrees Fahrenheit, in a controlled manner. During this heating process, the brake pad material becomes pliable enough to transfer evenly onto the rotor surface. But here's the tricky part. If you don't do this correctly, you can actually make your brakes worse. New brake pads contain binding resins that hold all the friction materials together. These resins are essential for the pad's structure, but they're also the source of a phenomenon called green fade. When new pads get hot for the first time, these resins can vaporize and create a thin layer of gas between the pad and rotor. Imagine trying to stop while hydroplaning. That gas layer makes the pad literally skid off the rotor surface, causing a temporary but dramatic loss of braking power. That's why many brake pad manufacturers now use a process called scorching during production. They blast the pad surface with flames reaching 700 degrees Celsius for a brief time, burning off surface resins and bringing the friction material close to its carbonization point. It's like a preview of the bedding process, designed to reduce green fade during the actual break-in period. Even with factory scorching, new brakes still need proper bedding to reach their full potential. The process typically takes 20 to 30 minutes and involves a series of increasingly aggressive stops from moderate speeds, followed by careful cooling periods. You might do 5 moderate stops from 40 miles per hour down to 10 miles per hour, then 8 to 10 more aggressive stops from 60 miles per hour down to 15 miles per hour. The key is never stopping completely during this process while the brakes are hot. Why not stop completely? Because when brake pads and rotors are at bedding temperatures, we're talking about metal hot enough to glow, sitting stationary will cause the pad material to transfer unevenly onto one spot on the rotor. This creates an imprint that will cause vibrations and uneven braking for the entire life of those components. It's like pressing a hot stamp onto the rotor surface. The temperature management during bedding is crucial and varies dramatically depending on your brake pad material. Organic pads made from rubber, glass, carbon, and resins start to degrade around 300 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. They're quiet and smooth for daily driving but prone to fade under high heat conditions. Semi-metallic pads containing 30 to 70% metals like steel, iron, and copper perform optimally between 100 and 700 degrees Fahrenheit and can handle much more aggressive use. Ceramic pads made from dense ceramic compounds and copper fibers handle high temperatures with less heat fade and generate less dust, but they may feel spongy when cold. The chemistry involved in brake pad manufacturing is remarkably complex. A single brake pad may require up to 20 different raw materials, with engineers developing sophisticated friction materials containing 10 to 25 different ingredients. Each component contributes specific properties to optimize the balance between stopping power, fade resistance, wear life, and noise control. The formulation process is so secretive that manufacturers guard their recipes like Coca-Cola guards its formula. Modern brake technology has evolved significantly from the early 20th century when friction materials were woven with asbestos fibers. The industry moved to semi-metallic compounds in the mid-century, then introduced ceramic formulations in 1985. Today, environmental regulations are driving the development of copper-free brake pads and research into natural fiber alternatives like jute, kenaf, and flax. The consequences of skipping proper bedding extend far beyond reduced stopping power. Improper break-in can lead to glazing, where the friction material melts and smears across the rotor face like glass, reducing the coefficient of friction to nearly zero. This creates persistent squealing and dramatically reduced performance. You might also experience uneven pad wear, brake fade, shorter component lifespan, and annoying vibrations that feel like warped rotors but are actually caused by uneven material transfer. Even after proper bedding, brake pads continue to improve with use. Some high-performance pads don't reach their full potential for up to 1,500 miles of driving. During normal street use, your brake rotors and pads typically won't exceed 400 degrees Fahrenheit, but track driving can push temperatures to over 1,000 degrees. Understanding these temperature ranges helps explain why race pads often feel terrible during normal driving. They're designed to work in temperature ranges far above daily driving conditions. The transfer layer created during proper bedding becomes a permanent part of your rotor. It bonds so strongly to the metal surface that water and wheel cleaners can't remove it. The only way to eliminate this layer is with a brake lathe or extreme heat. This layer is constantly being worn away and replenished during normal braking, maintaining the adherent friction that makes your brakes work effectively. After successful bedding, you'll notice visual confirmation of the process. Your rotors may show a light blue tint, indicating they reached proper temperatures, and you'll see an even light gray coating across the rotor surface. This gray film is the transfer layer, proof that your brakes are now working as designed. The next time you get new brakes installed, ask your mechanic about the bedding procedure. Many shops skip this step entirely, sending you home with brakes operating at partial capacity. Understanding this process empowers you to either request proper bedding or perform it yourself following manufacturer guidelines. Your safety depends on brakes that work at their full potential, and now you know why that magic happens gradually, not immediately. Make sure you subscribe.